welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. Tonight's matchup features two quarterbacks who will be trying to lead their team to victory. It's Carson Wentz's Eagles going up against Keenum's Vikings.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Sunshine State in one of America's finest cities, Miami, Florida. It can certainly get loud inside this building, and just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with the Philadelphia Eagles. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Now with the play clock about to expire, we get a whistle and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, where that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs, and let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
On second down, Cook. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. A gain of a yard gets them back where they started. Now it's 3rd and 10.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
Throwing on 3rd down, Keenum. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
They decided to take a shot and right down the middle of the field, and really, they didn't give it as much time to develop, did they? They want to take that shot somewhere around the 15-yard mark.
And the defense able to recover, bat it free. So on 4th down, here's Ryan Quigley now to kick this one away. And he gets it away, and it's a laser headed for the sidelines. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there. Second down. So 2nd and 10 here. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Ajayi. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And ready for 3rd and 6. Now Wentz. And this is going to be incomplete.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on 3rd down to bring up 4th. Here is the punter Jones as he gets this one away. Call it 46 yards on the punt, just a single yard on the return as he was covered quickly. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Vikings coming out here again to take over on offense. And this is a crew, obviously, that was so close, Charles, to becoming the first ever team to play a Super Bowl in their own stadium. So disappointment in that last game against Philly, but overall, I think they've got to be pretty pleased with the season.
They have to be because they put it all together. Won the NFC North. How about that win over the Saints in the divisional round? I mean, I don't know that they'll ever top that in terms of getting something done late in the game, especially with what was on the line. They do get Dalvin Cook back at running back next year. I think they'd still like to have a little more speed at wide receiver. But all in all, this team comes back pretty well intact and will be a force for a while.
Yeah, that defense is pretty set.
Very much so. I mean, try and move the ball against their front and then try and throw it against Xavier Rhodes. Good luck to you.
So what will they do? On the ground, through the air, let's see. 2nd and 9. Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. Now a first carry for Latavius Murray. He takes this from the 30 to the 34.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
So following the run, we'll see what they do here on 3rd down. To throw is Keenum. And down he goes. Keenum is sacked. Vinny Curry. He's the one that gets him down. It'll be a loss of 5, and it'll bring up 4th down. And he gets this away, angled for the sideline with a lot behind it. Wow. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. And before the possession switches here, I had written down that I wanted to talk about some of the awards this past season in the NFL. We know Brady was the MVP, but Todd Gurley, Offensive Player of the Year.
How about that for a bounce back? Many were questioning whether he'd had a sophomore slump the season before. Didn't even get to 1,000 yards. Was a dominant force in 2017. How about his teammate Aaron Donald on the defensive side? He took home Defensive Player of the Year award.
Yeah, very impressive. They had both sides of the ball. Sean McVay deserving, I think you would agree, of Coach of the Year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what he did for the Rams when they went from last in the league in scoring to leading the league in scoring and winning a division title. And how about the New Orleans Saints? Rookie of the Year, offense and defense. Alvin Kamara on offense, Marshawn Lattimore on defense.
Wentz to throw on 2nd down. It's hauled in by Torrey Smith. 15 yards through the air and a 1st down.
Well, that certainly looked like the Torrey Smith we knew in Baltimore. A guy who can just run past defenses, and what do they say? Take the top right off of them.
Game-changing speed, and the days in Baltimore good, days in San Fran not so great, but now hoping to get back to his former self.
I would say they have an extremely motivated wide receiver in Torrey Smith.
And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Back live with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Eagles with the ball here to begin quarter number 2. They've got it 2nd and 4 to start things out. Again with Ajayi. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive they went 3 and out.
First and 10. Here's Wentz. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete.
There are a good number of coaches that any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
So incomplete on first. Let's see what second down has in store. Here's Wentz to throw. That is caught inside the 5. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. 18 yards there, and it'll be a first and goal. Here's Ajayi. Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now. Looking at this now, you got a couple more cracks here. This close, sneak it.
I don't think you even go into a huddle. Just line up, snap it, and fall in behind those guys into the end zone.
They'll try to run with Ajayi. And he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. Ajayi taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Eagles are able to cash it in for 6. On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. No, he missed the PAT. No good on the extra point, so a letdown there. And this will stay a 6-point ball game. Elliott now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So the football switching hands here in just a second. And, you know, Tom Brady, just to go off on a tangent for a second, may have lost the Super Bowl, but 3rd MVP this past season. And what he did at age 40, really something, right, Charles?
Absolutely phenomenal. Ended up beating out Todd Gurley, the running back for the Los Angeles Rams. But he would have traded it for a Super Bowl win, don't you think? How about this? The last 9 NFL MVPs to play in the Super Bowl that same season, 0-9.
Yeah.
He go all the way back to Kurt Warner in, what, 1999, where he won the double?
We were going over that stat earlier. That is hard to believe.
But he would have been the MVP had the Patriots pulled that one out.
Yeah, he still has 5 rings, though. 5 Super Bowl titles for Brady. Again, it's Cook. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
Keenum now to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. No gain on the play there. It'll be second down. The defense loves to hang their hat on that, don't they? You get a guy that catches the ball, but you stop him for no gain.
Without a doubt, because they're also used to trying to catch people after the catch, and they miss. And that turns into what? A huge play. We've seen it so many times. In this case, though, catch was made, put down right on the spot.
Now Keenum. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Rodney McLeod. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Eagles will take over here in just a second on offense. And, Charles, as you look back to the Super Bowl title run that they just had, what were some of the moves that made that possible?
I'll keep it on the offensive side of the ball because I thought their front office did a fantastic job of having answers in case things happen. Carson Wentz goes out. Well, they had signed Nick Foles to back him up. That worked out pretty well. Getting Alshon Jeffrey as a weapon outside to help them in the passing game. Darren Sproles gets hurt at running back. Corey Clement was signed as an undrafted free agent. He filled in well, and they traded for Jay Ajayi. And how about Jason Peters losing the all-world left tackle? And Halapoulivaati Vaitai, who they drafted the year before, filled in quite capably. They had answers for everything they needed.
Two minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Miami after this. 10 yards still left on second down. Wentz now to throw. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Sharif Floyd forcing his way through there to drop him for a loss of a good 10 yards. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. Throwing is Wentz. Screen pass to Blunt. And he is going to lose yardage here. Losing 4 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Here's Donnie Jones now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Before the offense changes hands here, let's look back at the Super Bowl February 5th. What a game. I know you were there calling it offensively, though. Impressive on both sides.
It certainly was, and let's face it, if you're in Minnesota, it's cold outside, but you talk about the offenses, they heated up in a big way. And how about Nick Foles? The backup quarterback turned MVP. 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, and, of course, the big one receiving on the Philly special.
Quite a story. As you and I were talking about off air, it was just a fluid game. Not a lot of penalties, just really clean play.
Exactly the type of game the NFL needed for the audiences at home watching the game and, of course, people in attendance. A really well-played game.
play action. Now Keenum. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. That's not only Adam Thielen, that's the Pro Bowler, Adam Thielen, who had 91 catches this year and over 1,200 yards, a career high.
We always look for great stories when we do games. Is there a better one this season than Adam Thielen in terms of where he came from to make a Pro Bowl roster as a receiver for the Minnesota Vikings? Lightly recruited out of high school, ends up at Mankato State, which is now known as Minnesota State Mankato. Undrafted, goes to a rookie free agent tryout camp, hangs around, makes the practice squad. First he's a special teams guy, and now he's one of the better receivers in the league. I think it's one of the best stories I've heard in 2017 NFL.
On first down, Keenum. And this one caught along the sideline, but they say already out of bounds. And the throw didn't give him a chance to turn it upfield, and that brings up second down.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard.
Let's go! Green,
Keenum will try again on second down. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll go down at the 28. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up a third down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now the Georgia Southern man. This is Jerick McKinnon. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a fourth down.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with fourth down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. On now is Kai Forbath to try the field goal. From the right hash, this from 45 yards away. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And they are on the board, trailing now 6-3. So a field goal here, they're still down, but they put a dent into that lead before the break.
And that's got to feel good because now they've seen that they can put some more points on the board, and that gives them a whole second half to get back to where they want to be, and that's in the lead.
On the return, it's Kenyon Barner. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. CD, I want to get your thoughts on some potential free agents this offseason before we change the possession here. Now, caution, many of these guys could be re-signed, I know, but who are some of them? Kirk Cousins is one.
Yeah, we're talking about difference makers. Kirk Cousins at the quarterback position. He's going to be coveted around the league by quarterback-needy teams. Case Keenum had a big year. Could he move? But how about running backs? Le'Veon Bell, Dion Lewis, some pass catchers, Jimmy Graham, Jarvis Landry, Sammy Watkins. And about the guy who goes and gets quarterbacks, DeMarcus Lawrence had a monster year for Dallas last season.
Yeah, a lot of big names that could be out there as free agents. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be fielded at the 6. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Eagles now as he'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. Here's a handoff to Ajayi to begin the drive. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
Now Wentz on the bootleg. It's complete. This is Brent Saleh. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 15 yards through the air and a first down. This is Ajayi, and an alley to run. And he's going to bull his way forward to the 48. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. They run with Ajayi. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Here comes the D swarming to the line. Now it's Ajayi. And he's got enough for the first across midfield to the 48. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. And now here's a carry heading left. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. 9 yards still remaining here to pick up the first on 2nd down. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. Now they'll throw it. Wentz. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there of 20 yards. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Now a handoff here to his running back. He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Now this will be the 9th play on this drive. 2nd and goal to go now. Now a toss play. It's Ajayi. Trying to turn the corner, but he's going to be stopped right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. And this offense on 3rd down today, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. First carry for LeGarrette Blount. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to bring up a 4th and goal.
There are certain drives in a game where anything less than a touchdown that caps it feels like an absolute disappointment. This is one of those drives.
This one through. And the lead will increase to 6 now. It's 9-3. And Charles, they get the field goal. Took him a dozen plays, though.
Work with me on this one. You know what I'm about to say, right? Bend but don't break. That's what came into play here for the defense. 12 plays were run at them. They only gave up 3 points. In a lot of ways, that's a win for the defense.
And he will be taken down here on the return on what will wind up being the final play of this third quarter. Back now in Miami. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, but they need some points. They're trailing here to start the fourth. Shift together here from the D-line.
Here we go. Green, 39. Leopard, over. Here we go now.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here.
Here we go. 3-19. 3-19. Now lucky 56. Lucky 56.
From the gun, it's Keenum. Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked off by a former first-round pick, Patrick Robinson. And this one will be brought back to the 22. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. Side and able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal. And to give this time to the tailback. And he's in for an Eagles touchdown. Jay Ajayi, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Eagles take advantage of good field position on the turnover to cash this one in. So they're going to go for 2. They'll try and run it with Ajayi. And he will get into the end zone again. And he seems to have a nose for it as he gets both the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. Elliott now to kick this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Now the Vikings now heading onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your #1 cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Brandon Graham in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Third and long. It's Keenum. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Now Keenum, got to have this one. And he'll find Thielen on the right side. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. 13 yards on the pickup. And on 4th and long, somehow they're able to keep the drive going. So the offense has it 1st and 10. Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. A big play there for Minnesota. 57 yards. 1st and goal at the 3-yard line now. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. And the offense in a great spot. It's 1st and goal from the 3. Keenum to throw again. And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a 1-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
So just under 2 minutes to play, and this would figure to pretty much be your ball game right here. And the Eagles dodge a bullet. They cover it up. And now looking at the clock here, they do have 2 timeouts, but even if they force a 3-and-out, they're going to have very little time remaining.
So that means they've got to be aggressive and find a way to knock the ball free. They've got to come up with it because they can't just rely, as you noted, on using their timeouts and getting the ball back. They might not have any time to mount an attack, even if they do play it that way. Get the football. That's their mantra.
Got some real estate inside the 30. Touchdown, Philadelphia. J&J, 41 yards. And the Eagles add on to their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside at 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And
this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Ronald Darby. Well, he will take this all the way up past the 40-yard line.
Obviously disappointing, but you had to go for broke here, down 2 scores. So that forced you to make some throws you definitely wouldn't want to make. And I think this interception is going to pretty much write an end to this one.
They'll start out on the ground with a Giant. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line, I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We got control of this thing. Get him behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. The Eagles on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 8. Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. Well, as always, partner, an extreme pleasure to share a booth with you. I have to say, I am impressed at your discipline because you came here and you said you were not going to eat any of the media buffet. You made it to the end. You didn't consume a single calorie.
I appreciate that. What you missed is me going to the concession stand outside of your eyesight